Good evening, I'm Brian Reagan, this is
Tyler Kelly.
We welcome you to our Twilight Talks. Tonight we're in Titus 3, verses 8 through 11. Tyler?
This is a faithful saying, and these things I want you to affirm constantly, that those who have believed in God should be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable to men. But avoid foolish disputes, genealogies, contentions, and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and useless. Reject the device of man after the first and second admonition, knowing that such a person is warped in sinning, being self-condemned.
All right. So what makes the person who causes division here? Well, it's the person who continually brings up controversies, dissensions. They ask stupid questions in Bible class, honestly. Oh, no, brother, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Yes, there is. Does the question lead towards people understanding God better? Or does the question distract and cause people to have more questions and more doubts arise in their heart about certain things? You see, there's a lot of stuff we do in the church, in America especially, that has nothing to do with how they did things in the first century church. And the model that we have where everybody can just ask questions about anything that they want, that causes more problem. That causes more problem. You say, well, preachers who don't know how to teach, well, yeah, that's a problem too. That's a problem too. You know, I'd love to be able to just teach, here's what the verse says. But after 20 years, I've learned enough of the questions that people ask that cause dissensions that now I try, instead of bringing the question up, I try and address the false doctrine that so many people have by just addressing the false doctrine and trying to connect scripture across to get rid of it before anybody can ask the question. Had a lady one time, sweet lady, but every time she asked a question in Bible class, the way she would ask it, and I know she didn't intend anything bad by it, but she would actually sow seeds of doubt in people for how she would ask. And I finally looked at her and I said, I love you. I said, any question you have that's not answered by the time we're done with Bible study, you see me after class and you ask me privately. I said, because for how you ask questions, I can't answer and undo how everyone hears it in a 1-hour class. And she didn't get upset, by the way, for anybody. Oh, I can't believe you said that to a sweet old lady. I can. She didn't get upset. She said, well, brother, she said, I realize, since we've been here, that I was taught wrong on most of the Bible, and most of the preachers I ever learned from didn't actually use the Bible. And I said, and that's why you need to stop asking questions. I said, because you don't have enough knowledge right now to even know what you need to ask. But after class, if you still have a question and I didn't cover something from the passage, ask me and I'll make sure I answer it in the next class session. And why? Because of this right here. To my fellow preachers, encouraging discussion is not necessarily a wonderful thing. The active engagement model, where people can throw in their 2 cents, is not necessarily a good thing. Because a lot of people have wrong ideas, wrong concepts, false doctrines. And once they start spitting those things out, and to others, you say, well, I'm not a preacher. I think I should be able to ask whatever I want. You should. Send your preacher an email, send your preacher a text, write him a note with your question on it so that he has time to prepare a biblical answer for you. But if you know it's a question that really can't be answered with 1 or 2 verses, or you're not sure, don't take class off track. And don't throw it out there like a little grenade. because you have no idea where those fragments end up. And for those of you who say, bruh, yeah, I try and think ahead to all the things that people can ask about a passage, and I try and answer them when I teach so that people don't have to ask it. Because giving an answer to a question unasked is safer than trying to give the answer to a question once it's been asked. And if you need to understand that more, Tyler, you understand how this works, right? If I ask Tyler a question teaching a Bible class, and there's 50 people in there, 50 people, will all 50 of them wait to hear your answer, or will some of them start turning over the question in their head, and they spin it off of other questions in their head? Meanwhile, they haven't heard a single thing about the answer. This is why an answer to a question that you didn't know was asked. No, it's been asked. It was asked 3 churches ago. Trying to do the safe thing. But this, be careful. There's a lot of stuff that is unsafe in the church. Damaging to your soul. And Bible class can destroy your soul if you're not careful with how the questions are asked. So, any other thoughts?
No, sir.
All right, Lord willing, we'll see you in the morning. Until then,
like, comment, share, and subscribe.
all right, see you in the morning.